I'm Olivia, a first-time mom with a mechanical engineering degree, and I'm here to tell you whether the Momcozy bottle washer is actually worth it. There's truly nothing worse than when you've had one of those days where it takes an hour plus to get the baby to sleep, and you come downstairs thinking you're gonna relax only to find a mountain of bottles that you need to wash. I've certainly been there, and I'm here to let you know that there is somewhat of a solution. Enter the Momcozy bottle washer, specifically the Clean Pal Pro all-in-one bottle washer, sterilizer, and dryer. As the name suggests, this countertop device washes, sterilizes, and dries. I specifically looked for one that has all three to take you through some of the basic features that they have on this device. First is the cap, and then there's this tray. You can either put items on top like this, which is how I have it, or you can have it a little bit deeper and put them inside. It fits both ways. There's also a water reservoir here in the back. It takes 2.5 liters. Water hose, which does have to be put directly into the sink. This is where the water exits out of, just the power cord. On the front, there's only just a few buttons here, which make it quite easy to use. There's even a quick start guide that is always printed on here. And then on the inside, there are 4 spray jets that you can put your bottles directly over. There's a rotating spray jet. I don't know if you can see that on the bottom. And then there's also these plastic pieces. I actually usually take these out because they just take up space, but they also have ones that allow you to put nipples, or I put our pacifiers on there as well. And then this piece in the middle actually gets all the water to shoot up to the top tray. As far as the control panel goes, press and hold to turn on, and then like I said, there's only a few buttons that you have here, which is kind of nice, not overly complicated. There's rapid if you want to do a rapid wash. Normal is checked. I think you can either only do one or the other, and again, you press and hold to switch. And then steam stands for essentially sterilize, and storage is to dry as well. One feature that's nice about this is that if you've started your cycle, you can actually pause, throw in whatever you forgot to add, and then restart. One time I did accidentally press the power button and it drained all of the water, so just make sure that if you are putting something in there, you press pause. The settings right here are the ones that I use. I never really change it, kind of set it and forget it. I put normal, steam, and storage to have a normal wash, sterilize, and dry. Now the whole cycle, including sterilization and drying, takes about 90 minutes, which to me, I mean, it's shorter than a regular dishwasher. So that is kind of why I don't use the quick wash. Before we get into loading, I'm just gonna rapid fire a few products that I use alongside of this that I think are useful and make the bottle washing process even more efficient. First and foremost, I have one of these collapsible wash bins. They're nice because they collapse and you can store them, but also you're not kind of contaminating all of your bottles with other things in the sink. This is a place to put the dirty parts. It also has a drain in case you do need to actually wash something. This is the soap I use and love. I'll link these detergent tablets. They worked for me once we ran out of the Momcozy brand ones, and they're on Amazon. And finally, I don't have it here with me to show, but I actually do use a distilled water maker, like machine. I am very type A. This is made for distilled water, so I would suggest using it. And it's actually pretty affordable. I think ours is going for $65 right now and was about $50 whenever we bought it, so they do go on sale. Also, because we do use this every day during the work week, it just is more functional to have something that distills the water for you. And speaking of the work week, as someone that absolutely was not going to be washing all of the bottles and pump parts at the end of my 9 to 5, I have optimized how to load all of our bottles and pump parts from the day, and I generally fit everything into one cycle.
Okay, so really quickly, I just want to show you how I load my bottle washer. First off, I would take out these little plastic pieces. They really just take up space and are not very efficient. I put my pump bottles in, and then there are actually 4 jets that are designed for you to put the bottles over. So I put the bottles that the baby eats from to make sure they're the cleanest out of the bunch. And then I just stick my flanges on top of all of it. You kind of have to finagle them in there so that the top gray piece can fit properly. And we're maximizing the space that we have here. I put the duckbills from the flanges of my pump into the collar of the bottle, and then the bane of my existence. These backflow protectors for some reason are just so annoying to me. You do have to take them apart, all 3 pieces. So yeah, the rest of it, there's not as much of a method to the madness, but I just kind of stack as much as I can in there so that it'll fit under the lid. The goal here is to not have to do 2 washes when clearly we can do one with all of the parts that we use every day. This part is very important. You put the dishwasher tablet straight into the base of the washer, not in the top, directly into the bottom of the washer. And then you just stack it all together. I make sure all 3 of these buttons are pressed for a full cycle. Might as well use all of the features that are there. Fill it up at least to the minimum line with distilled water.
Especially for baby items, I see a lot of products out there that are overpriced and over-engineered, the Nanit. I do not feel this way about the Momcozy bottle washer. The countertop washers are relatively new products, and I don't think even a year ago you could find one that has this level of functionality, efficiency, and quality. With that said, I'm sure there will be one with more bells and whistles by the time that baby number 2 comes around for us. My only cons would be the price and the fact that it's another thing that sits on your countertop. But to both of those things, I say that the benefits outweigh the costs. Unfortunately, the price point is high at about $300. However, Target and Amazon both offer registry discounts at, I believe, 15%. And I often see these on sale, especially around the holidays. You can also purchase these through Babylist or the Momcozy website directly, but you'll get it fastest through Amazon. Bottom line, this one is worth it. If you're on the fence and looking for permission to splurge on just one thing for your postpartum sanity, let this one be it. As always, everything is linked below, and I'll see you next week after I run a cycle.